Are you looking for an athletic scholarship? You're in the right place. This is the Recruit Me Athletic Scholarship Podcast, the longest running podcast on recruiting and athletic scholarships. We're here to help your family navigate the recruiting road all the way to an athletic scholarship. He's a recruiting expert and a dad of 2 college athletes. He has a wealth of experience to share. Here's Recruit Me CEO, Brent Hanks.
Welcome to episode 309 of the Athletic Scholarship Podcast. This episode is called Recruiting is Like Selling Cars and Playing Baseball. Let's see how these interrelate and also relate to recruiting. I hope you had a good 4th of July. Whether you were at the lake, the golf course, in a backyard barbecue, or a field or a court, I hope you realize how blessed we are to have all these different options. Speaking of blessed, I wanted to wish my mother and my father a happy birthday. My mother's birthday is today, July 5th, and my dad's is coming up on July 10th. Happy birthday to the 2 people that got me started in this wonderful world of sports. As I became a manager at our family's Chevrolet dealership, one of the training exercises I implemented was a Friday morning meeting called Friday 29. I named it Friday 29 because it was on Friday morning and it lasted for 29 minutes. The goal of the Friday 29 meetings were to have a set time for training our sales staff on a consistent and uninterrupted basis. The meeting might be led by me or another manager, or we might have a guest speaker, we might have a video, or it might be led by one of the salespeople. Subjects of the meetings might be a product walk-around, where the salesperson would study a car or a truck and teach the other salespeople about the vehicle so they could all learn more and be able to help the customer know how the car or truck would fit their needs. We might bring in our extended warranty representative to talk about how the extended warranty can benefit a customer, or we might bring in a vendor that installed vinyl clear paint protection, again, on how the product will benefit the customer. A manager might introduce a new procedure in doing paperwork, or might teach some key steps on making a sale. One of the Friday 29s I put together was a comparison of car sales to baseball. One of the comparisons was car sales was like baseball because of stats. In baseball, you have batting average, OBP, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, OPS, on-base percentage plus slugging, ERA, earned run average, and WHIP, walks and hits per inning pitched. These are all ways to analyze a player's performance in a game, a portion of a season, a whole season, or a player's career. In car sales, you keep track of the number of customers that come on the lot, the number of phone calls, the number of internet leads, the number of sales, a closing ratio, sales versus the number of customers. You also have a test drive percentage, a percentage of deals written or offers made, or the number of appointments made. Well, in recruiting, you have stats too. In recruiting, you make a list of schools and do research on schools and the coaches. Then you, the recruited student-athlete, develops an introductory email and sends it out to all the coaches on your research school list. From there, you get a response, and then you can calculate your response ratio. An example is that you email or contact 50 coaches at all levels, and then over the next 3 weeks or so, you keep track of the responses you get from coaches. If you get 23 back, then you had a 46% response percentage. You can even break it down into responses from each level. You might get 4 out of 10 junior college responses, 8 out of 12 Division III responses, 4 out of 7 NAIA responses, 5 out of 13 Division II responses, and 2 out of 8 Division I responses. So your JUCO response rate would be 40%, your Division III is 67%, the Division II 38%, and the Division I is 25%. Now, it is hard to compare percentage to other recruits, because, as I've said many times, everyone's journey is different based on the numerous variables. You can keep going on your stats by tracking and recording responses from future or follow-up emails, calls, text, or DMs with coaches. You might even make 2 follow-up emails and send one of them to half the coaches and the other one to the other half of the coaches and see which one gets a better response. Keep track of the number of campus visits you go on and how many you're invited to come on, both official visits and unofficial visits. Go back and listen to episodes 225 and 226 for more information about visits. So stats are very important in business, in baseball, and recruiting, as you can see. Another aspect I covered in the baseball to business comparison in the Friday 29 meeting was how both have fundamentals. Selling a car has basic steps to a sale. Steps like prospecting, preparation, meet and greet, presentation, handling objectives, closing, and follow-up. There are many variations of a sales process, but there are still a few basic fundamentals that every version incorporates. The more times a salesperson, in his or her own way, follow the sales steps properly, the more successful sales they will get. Well, baseball and all sports have basic fundamentals in each action of that sport. Baseball has hitting fundamentals, fielding fundamentals, and throwing fundamentals. In baseball, like all other sports, balance and proper body position are important. Bend those knees, low center of gravity, and body alignment play a huge role in any physical action. As you build on those physical foundations, you can add more skills to your base. The Recruit Me 3.0 system covers building the foundation correctly, like a house's foundation. In recruiting, an early, research-based foundation is highlighted in the Athletic Scholarship Podcast and the Recruit Me resources. The best time to start your recruiting education foundation is as you enter your high school freshman year, and you start with a solid academic plan. Also start to do research on what you, the student athlete, want in a college experience, and also to work on your body and your sports skills. As you move through your high school sophomore year and your body and your skills mature, you will move into more steps in the recruiting process. The 7 steps to an athletic scholarship that Recruit Me provides are: Step 1, select the right schools to contact. Step 2, write a great introductory email. Step 3, create your own player profile. Step 4, build your questionnaire. Step 5, track your communications. Step 6, send one-page updates. And Step 7, make your school choice wisely. So selling cars or anything has a process with basics. Baseball or any sport has its fundamentals, and recruiting has its basic steps that will lead you to success. If you are past your freshman and sophomore years of high school, you can still use the steps for recruiting. You just have to start and speed up the process. But you can't use shortcuts. You have to set the foundation correctly. The last comparison I made to the salespeople about how sales and baseball are similar is how you have to prepare, both physically and mentally. In baseball, you may be an outfielder in left field, and after 5 innings of play, you haven't had a ball hit to you the whole game. After 15 outs and probably over 100 pitches, not one ball came your way. But you have to be prepared for the ball to be hit to you on every pitch, and be ready to react properly and make the correct play. In left field, a ball can be hit in the air in front of you, or over you, right to you, or to the left or the right of you. It can be hit on the ground all the same ways. The ball could be hit softly or hard, high in the air or a line drive. The wind could affect the ball, or the sun could be a factor. The grass or the turf could be wet. The fence could be close to the foul line. Or there could be factors of what the score is, how many outs there are, or how many runners are on base. All of these factors for every pitch. The one time you don't prepare or are not engaged is usually the time the ball is hit to you. No action for an hour and a half, and now all hell breaks loose, and you have to be ready. Selling cars is similar. You can come to the office at 8 a.m., make a few calls, then wait for a customer to come in. You get no action until lunchtime, and then you come back from lunch, watching every car that drives in the entrance. One car goes to the service shop, the next car goes to the body shop, another to the parts department, the next car to another salesperson, so no action for you. Then a car stops and a family gets out to look at a Tahoe. The proverbial ball has been hit to you. After hours of waiting, are you ready? Is your appearance on point? How will you greet the customer? Are you knowledgeable about the Tahoe? Are you ready to react to the customer's questions and solve their concerns and needs? Like baseball, on the car lot you have to be ready to react in a fundamental way to the customer and their needs, and do it in a natural and caring way. So how does recruiting relate to these examples of being prepared? Again, doing your research and your homework will prepare you for action in recruiting. You may send out introductory emails as the first contact to coaches, and then you may or may not get immediate responses. But when you do get a response, or a number of responses, in a day or in a week, will you be ready to react? Will you have a response ready to acknowledge and respond back to the coach or the coaches? Do you have questions prepared for the coaches about the school and the program? Do you have answers prepared for questions coaches will ask you? What is your next move after you get contacted by a college coach? What is your next move if you don't get contacted by a college coach? When you get contacted by a college coach by email, text, phone, or DM, do you have a way of keeping track of those communications? By being prepared ahead of time, by visualizing as many different situations as possible that you may come across, whether you are in sales, playing your sport, or being recruited, you can respond to most situations in a timely, calm, and effective manner. This glimpse into my previous car business world and the Friday 29 meetings we had shows a relationship between sales, baseball, and recruiting, and how the foundations of each are so important to success in each field. Building a good, firm foundation by preparing and doing research and being ready to tackle as many possible situations is related in all three of the subjects I covered today. Using fundamentals or basic steps to guide you through the proven process is essential to be successful in all three subjects. Being physically and mentally prepared to adjust to changing environments as action begins. This podcast, the Athletic Scholarship Podcast, is one of many free and inexpensive resources that RecruitMe provides. All the resources can be found at recruit-me.com. The free Recruiting Power Pack is a great way to start your recruiting education process. The Athletic Scholarship Podcast is a free resource with over 300 podcasts that give you in-depth tidbits, interviews, and details and advice on recruiting. The Athletic Scholarship Playbook and the Athletic Scholarship 24-Month Planner and Journal, both books authored by RecruitMe founder John Fugler, can be purchased for only $13.99 and $19.99 respectively on Amazon or by contacting me at brent@recruit-me.com. These are great inexpensive recruiting resources to get you started, to get you on the path to an athletic scholarship, and to keep track of your contact with coaches to help you make your decision on the best fit for you. Also, in the Resources tab at recruit-me.com, you can get a recruiting checklist for only $1. The most comprehensive resource that RecruitMe provides is the RecruitMe 3.0 Athletic Scholarship System. The RecruitMe 3.0 system is only $127. You get a full step-by-step system that includes video and audio to guide you to a scholarship. This DIY system is anchored in the philosophy that college coaches want to hear straight from you, the student athlete. And the RecruitMe 3.0 system, with a 200-plus page manual and workbook, walks you through the process. This system saves you time, saves you a lot of money, and saves you some stress and anxiety that can come in the recruiting journey. You can spend $127 and give the RecruitMe 3.0 system a look. And if you don't see benefits, you can get a money-back guarantee good for 90 days. It is a great value if you have one student athlete that is getting recruited. Plus, you get to keep it, and if you have more student athletes in the house, it becomes an even better bargain. The RecruitMe 3.0 system is good for both boys and girls sports, any sports that you want to play in college, and is best as the student athlete starts into high school, but is effective at any stage of high school or even in junior college. Go to recruit-me.com or click on the links below to check out any or all of the RecruitMe resources. Please rate the Athletic Scholarship Podcast as a 5-star or a top rating in your favorite podcast app. And share the Athletic Scholarship Podcast with anyone, student athlete, parent, or high school or club coach that would benefit. Hit the plus sign or the follow banner to get a new episode every Tuesday. If you have a comment or a question, please leave a review or contact me at brent@recruit-me.com. Here is a recent review of the Athletic Scholarship Podcast. Quote, Brent's podcast is such an amazing resource to parents and athletes as they navigate the recruiting process. I wish I had a resource like this whenever I was going through it all. Keep up the great work, Brent. Unquote. That is from Paige Tons, a former Division I softball player at Northwestern University and the owner of PaigeTons.com, a girl athlete mindset mentor. Thanks, Paige, for the review. Join me next week for another 15 minutes that will change your athletic scholarship future.